are at odds as talks break down.
It's not the best quality, but we don't have many options.
Tell our leaders, wake the sleepers!
Seems quiet for now. Look, Jonesy.
I know. This isn't what I signed up for either.
Make them hear. Make them know. Make them leave.
Hey, Pathfinder.
Or make them go.
You're with the militia, right? What's going on in there?
Tell our
A crowd of
leaders,
people in
wake the
hydroponics and they won't
sleepers.
leave.
They're disrupting operations. Might
Free
get
our
nasty.
families.
Can you talk to them?
Make them hear. Make them know. Make them lead or make them go. Tell our leaders, wake the sleepers.
Hey, what's going on?
That's your new galaxy. Making speeches about some fresh start while your kids stay frozen.
And it's all thanks to your Pathfinder.
Excuse me?
We've waited months for our families to come out of stasis. They should have gone to your outpost.
But since you think research is so important, military personnel got bumped down the list, like my clan brothers.
All the reassignments mean they're in 10 different colony blocks now.
And my mother just got caught in the middle.
I founded the outpost. I didn't decide who would stay in stasis.
You don't care that you've torn families apart?
That's not what I said.
Maybe you could still make this right. I just want Mom out of stasis. That's all anyone here wants.
You do stasis revivals. You can tell our leaders you're opening those pods. Today.
I authorize whole colony blocks or a few emergency revivals. I can't wake dozens of random people.
We don't care whose finger pushes the button. If you can't, our leaders can. And if you tell them, they will.
Okay. I'll talk to the leadership about what we can do.
14 months of promises. It's time for some results.
We tried petitioning Addison. She ignored us. Screw her. Start with Kandros. He sent those 10 soldiers over there. Maybe he'll take us seriously. Tell our leaders, wake the sleepers!
S, your source for news in Helios, an independent arm of the Andromeda Initiative. Attention, civil disobedience has been reported in hydroponics. Security is...
Firearm proficiency is up.
So that's what the Kett are up to, transforming people into willing slaves?
Now we know why they take so many prisoners.
Well, they're sure as hell not taking any more.
I need to talk to you about stasis revival and those protesters in hydroponics.
I see. Maybe I should get the others for this.
Protesters have seized hydroponics?
They want their families out of stasis. The outpost on Eos disrupted the schedule. They're scattered across colony blocks, dozens of people. The protesters want this fixed today.
The realities of our position are...
We can't wake those families. We don't have the resources, and there's nowhere to put them.
Then what's the point of all those outposts I've founded?
People need more than space, Ryder. They need work they're trained for, and we don't have placements for those families. If I just toss them to any outpost with a spare bunk, they become a burden we can't afford.
What do you suggest?
Leave the families in stasis where it's safe and get those protesters out of hydroponics. They seem sympathetic, but so did the exiles. We can't risk another revolt. Survival is more important than family reunions.
Do you think these protests could turn violent?
We're all pioneers. Even civilians are tough enough to start something.
And interfering in hydroponics threatens our oxygen supply. They know that.
What would you do with the protesters?
I'd send in a squad and march them out. At gunpoint if we must. If they resist, a few might land in medbay, but it's better than losing hydroponics. Or the Nexus.
These people aren't the enemy. We didn't come all this way to rip families apart. We'll manage the resource squeeze somehow.
Your compassion is admirable, but...
Guess we're all tightening our belts.
You can run a stasis override command from operations. I hope the rest will be that easy.
Attention all personnel. The Angaran diplomatic team has arrived on the Nexus.
Okay, sending the override command. The stasis pods should start unlocking.
You're really doing this? I was at the protest in Hydroponics. I thought we'd just get more excuses. But we already lost a year waiting for our families. I'm glad it's time.
I know exactly what you're feeling. My family has suffered too.
Then you know why this matters. My mom was scared something would go wrong and she'd be awake in stasis all that time. She isn't... It doesn't work like that, but I just want her out, so I know.
Override complete. Stasis revival triggered on the Nexus. For Jasper K, Griffith G, Pilkvist A, Demerchi P, Kozlov S.
There! That's her!
Why are you still here? Go be the face your mom wakes up to.
I will. Thank you.
Given new resource allocation, personnel in stasis on the Hyperion may now be required to wait longer.
When it's time, you'll have a home to wake up to. I promise.
The Cultural Center requests special dietary instructions for Angaran visitors.
Apex team leader?
Well, those families are out of stasis. I know because we're cutting rations for Apex.
My decision's made, Kandros.
And now everyone thinks protesting is how we get stuff done. Excuse me.